What's going on, everybody? Jacob here, JK Productions, and we got something a little different here for you today. Today I'm doing a mock draft, and this is a different format than anything I've done before, so hopefully this ends up working. I tried recording a mock draft yesterday, and I downloaded OBS the other day, and it just didn't go well. And that video you guys will hopefully never see. But today, I'm going to be drafting. I don't really have a strategy for this. I'm just going to go in, and whatever ends up happening. I have two leagues that I'm going to be drafting in the next month that I'm preparing for. And one of those, I have the fourth pick. So you see here, I have myself at pick number 4. I really don't know. I really don't know who I'm going to end up with. I don't know necessarily who I want. I've been preparing for this for... I know what pick I was going to have for, I think, the last month or so, and even then, I don't necessarily know who I want at pick 4. There's RB made for a few guys. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is going to be going first overall, and I do have the first overall pick in my other league, so that draft is going to be a little easier, and I might do a mock later of that draft. But today I have the fourth pick. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is going to go at 1. But before we get into this, let me know what pick you guys have down in the comments below, and then who you hopefully will get with that pick. I know maybe some of you guys that are in my leagues might be watching this, so obviously I know what picks you have, but if you're watching this right now, let me know down in the comments what picks you have and who you're hoping to get. So, you see the draft starts, Jonathan Taylor, Austin Ekeler. Obviously, like I said, Taylor going 1. Now we don't know. And now we have Cooper Kupp falling to me at 3. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned about Matt Stafford. I'm concerned about his elbow. And I do love to get a running back here with my first pick. So I'm going to reach a little bit here and take Derrick Henry at 4. The thought for who I'm going to get at 4 is really between Ekeler, McCaffrey, Henry, and Kupp. When it comes down to actual draft day, we'll see. I do not know. I don't know if I want you to see Kupp go there. So any of those guys who went 2 to 5, I could be okay with. Obviously, Ekeler is the safest pick of the bunch. You know that Chargers offense is going to look really good. You know he's going to get a lot of pass catching opportunities. Doesn't have a injury issue to worry about. So, and he's obviously the RB1 there. They drafted Isaiah Spiller, but you don't really have to worry about Isaiah Spiller taking a lot of the production away. Christian McCaffrey, ultra high end upside. Last year, 5 games he played from start to end with, which is 5 games. But those 5 games, he had 20 points at least in 4 of those 5 games. So you're getting a ridiculous amount of upside there. And if he could play a full season, he's probably your RB1. Derrick Henry, when he got hurt last year, was RB1. But now he's finally started to get hurt a little bit. Maybe it's just a fluke. Maybe it's just a one-season thing. We don't know. He finished still at RB14, which is ridiculous for missing the last half of the season. But I am happy with any of those 3 guys. And if I get Kupp, there's that. I feel a little weird going receiver that high, even though he just had one of the best fantasy seasons of all time. I don't know how much he could replicate that, but getting Derrick Henry first, very, very happy with. After that was Kupp, Jefferson, Chase, Cook, Najee, Kamara. All that pretty standard, what I would expect. What I wouldn't expect is for Joe Mixon to still be on the board there. And then he goes for the auto pick. I like Joe Mixon a lot. I think if you pick him at the end of the first round, that's a pretty decent pick there. Alvin Kamara, you see here. Alvin Kamara, now that he's probably not going to be suspended at all, is a much more comfortable pick to make. But there is still a chance he gets suspended when his court date pops up. So I have a pick coming here in 3 picks. Tyreek Hill's still on the board. Mark Andrews, Kelsey, the 2 top tight ends are still on the board. I like my pick here. Pretty much whoever ends up being, I guess ESPN today. It had to be today they updated these because Kelsey moved up a little bit. Mark Andrews moved up a little bit. Nick Chubb moved down a little bit, which that's interesting. I thought he would move up, if anything, but nope. Kamara moved from like 18 to 9, so that's pretty huge. Mark Andrews, first tight end, go right there. I'm gonna grab my second running back. I like Javonte Williams a lot. He does have a split with Melvin Gordon a little bit, but I really don't think that's too much of a concern. Everything that we've seen in camp so far would point that Javonte is the clear workhorse there, and Melvin Gordon is going to be more of a supporting role. So I'm not too bothered by what Melvin Ingram will do and where he'll take away. You see, Nick Chubb is still taken highly, so I don't understand how he ended up dropping in the rankings. I'm just going to scroll down and look. David Montgomery. So, okay, these guys, these guys all considerably dropped. Montgomery, Dobbins, Brees, Elliott, they were all like a package before. David Montgomery might have been as high as like 26 at one point. So these guys all dropped considerably down. Looking at this, Josh Jacobs, wow. Big drop for Josh Jacobs. He was around 40 before, so that's a massive drop, which I think is actually probably more accurate when it comes to him. Second pick here, I'd like to get a receiver, and that's perfect. Keenan Allen, yeah, for sure. Keenan Allen here. Finished, I think, as wide receiver either 9, 10, or 11 last year. Going Henry, Williams, Keenan, you're going to get a lot of action there. There's a lot of points to be had between those three guys. Chargers offense, I want a piece of that Chargers offense somewhere. Used to be able to get Mike Williams with my fourth pick. That doesn't look like that's happening anymore. So Mike Williams is a guy that I probably won't end up with. If I took Eckler, then I might be looking at a guy. Well, Michael Pittman usually falls down to here. So Michael Pittman would be a guy that I might look at. Brandon Cooks I like. Terry McLaurin continues to do it with trash quarterbacks, so don't tell me that he won't be great with Carson Wentz. He's been doing it every single year with nothing. So don't tell me he won't be good. This is my first time looking at these updated. Travis Etienne moved up. Quarterbacks both moved down. I don't understand how Mahomes and Herbert moves down. But all right. Second really tier of tight ends is about in the same spot. Waller and Kittle. Kyler moved up a lot. Jalen Hurts also separated himself from the group. If anybody doing mocks would know that this group of quarterbacks, which again has significantly moved down, they were up like probably into the early 80s, late 70s, all these guys together. And Jalen Hurts was a part of that group, but he's distanced himself, and so was Kyler. And Kyler really distanced himself. Following my pick, Javonte, Kelsey, Chubb, Hill, T. Higgins, Pittman, then Keenan again. All pretty standard picks, so nothing really too crazy is going on so far. All three of those guys I'm very comfortable with drafting. There's a lot of touches to go around there. The Chargers offense, there's a few offenses, just get a piece somewhere. Chargers, Broncos, conveniently, that's the first two of the first three that I went. Buccaneers, except Buccaneers does concern me a little bit just on the basis that everybody's hurt or old, including Tom Brady. Mike Evans is going to the season with a hamstring injury. Godwin's going to be not 100% when he comes back, so not sure how that's going to look. Julio, old. Russell Gage I used to really like, but that's when I thought that Godwin was going to miss some time, and Julio Jones wasn't even a factor. Here's my next pick. I mean, this is not realistic, but like if Josh Allen is there, obviously I'm taking Josh Allen. But in a real draft, yeah, like I'm on the clock here. I know there's no shot Josh Allen is falling to me at the back end of the fourth round. Like Tyrell, 1,000,000% would take him. So off of that basis, I'm going and getting Courtland Sutton. Also, kind of hoping Herbert falls down to me so I could stack Keenan Allen and Herbert instead of taking Josh Allen there. If this was an actual draft and Josh Allen falls that far, there's 0% chance I'm passing on him. But Tyrell, I know 100% would take him. Tyrell probably at this point has already taken Josh Allen. He probably took Josh Allen, probably took Saquon, probably took Diggs. And sure, he probably took... Where is he? Gabriel Davis. Yeah. That's his first 4 picks. No, there's in zero world is there a chance that Josh Allen falls that far. And I think that's a lot of people are drafted off that mentality, because like you look here, like Michael Thomas, like these guys are good. Like I really like Courtland Sutton. Again, want to get a piece of that. I just realized, dang it. I've been really irresponsible when I do my mocks because I forget who else I draft. I would never draft Javonte and Courtland Sutton together. So there's that. So don't do that. Donovan, I don't understand how you can't grasp the fact that that's a terrible idea. So realistically there I probably would have taken Marquise Brown instead of Sutton. I haven't done a lot of mocks where I've ended up with Javonte, so I guess that's why it even crossed my mind. If this guy could not take Herbert, that would be absolutely fantastic. Like these, yeah, okay. So Herbert here is the obvious no-brain pick. Hopefully that doesn't... Okay, yeah, just Herbert. People in mocks don't like to take quarterbacks early, but you know that's what's going to happen. You know your league mates... My league mates once the first quarterback's taken, people start to panic. Like, oh no, I got to take my quarterback. There are a bunch of guys that I can feel comfortable drafting. Obviously, any of the guys that have gone so far. So we saw Lamar go before Patrick Mahomes. That's interesting. Josh Allen, Herbert, Jackson, Mahomes. Obviously, those are not in that order. Well, if you honestly just flip Lamar and Mahomes, that's the top 4 quarterbacks. Kyler Murray. Absolutely love him. Yeah, without D-Hop. What's it going to look like with Marquise Brown? I don't know, but he's still Kyler Murray. There he goes. Hurts. Loved Jalen Hurts this year. That offense is going to be so nice. So much. There's just such a high potential for Jalen Hurts. He had like 700 rushing yards last year. I don't expect it to be that high, but you know you're going to get that production from him. He doesn't take a lot of big hits, and now the offense is going to be able to spread out even more. Love Jalen Hurts. Brady, it's a little weird, but I still like Brady. Don't like Rodgers, but I love Wilson, Burrow, I love so many guys there that if your league mates start just grabbing quarterbacks out of panic, just wait. Like I took Herbert there. Probably not actually gonna happen because like I said, how mocks go. If they start grabbing quarterbacks, just wait. It's okay. You'll get your quarterback. You can take Joe Burrow in like the round are we now? The 6th. You can take Joe Burrow in the 7th or 8th round, Russell Wilson, and you'll be fine. You don't have to go out and get one of those you don't need to take Josh Allen in the 2nd round. You don't have to do that. Seriously. I don't know why so many people are going crazy and doing that. For my flex spot, I know I was talking about Cooper Kupp, but by no means do I think Cooper Kupp's a bad pick. At one point, he was like the surefire number 2 overall pick, and then all the news came out about Stafford's elbow. That obviously could just end up being nothing. Like it can end up not mattering at all. So I'm still comfortable taking Kupp in the top 5. I'd be comfortable taking him at 4. I like to get my running back, and if it's close, all those factors, I'd rather take a running back. But I still think it's going to be good, and I still think Allen Robinson is going to have a very good year. Allen Robinson, finally, God bless that man, finally is going to get a good quarterback, a serviceable quarterback, which he has not had his entire career. Man, Andrew, the Bears just broke that man's spirit, is the best way I could put that. He was miserable, you can tell. But I still think he's a great pick for fantasy football. He's projected at 199. He could be a great even just your wide receiver 2 by the end of the year. And like, let's pretend Javonte Williams doesn't exist. If I have Keenan, Sutton, and Robinson all on different bye weeks, I'm set at wide receiver for the year. If obviously if the injury bug doesn't end up happening with either of those guys. Next pick. If Dalton Schultz falls to me, I am 100% taking Dalton Schultz. Ooh, noted. Finally, Ramondre Stevenson. Okay, so obviously I'm taking Dalton Schultz here, but Ramondre Stevenson has passed Damian Harris. Wow. Damian Harris has dropped like 20. Cordell Patterson. Wow. These new rankings are incredible. D-Hop fell a lot. These guys fell a lot. Wow. Damian Pierce rose. Russell Gage rose, I think. No, actually, that's where he was being taken before. Wow, that is interesting. So, Patriots camp, first of all the news is pointing at things are pretty bad. But the one, like, bright spot, if you could even call it a bright spot, is they really seem to be believing in Ramondre Stevenson. And I'm believing in him, too. He's a better pass-catching back out of the two. He kind of took over at the end of the season there last year. So I don't think there's any reason that won't continue into this year. I think Ramondre Stevenson is the much better, much more responsible pick. I don't think Damian Harris. I think Damian Harris could be a potential trade candidate for the Patriots. Whereas Ramondre Stevenson, I think is going to. Jeez, I think Ramondre Stevenson is going to end up being the number one there. Cordell Patterson, I don't like. Right here, I'm probably going to go Chase Edmonds. A.J. Dillon, a guy that I would have liked more than Chase Edmonds, even though he's not the starter. I do think that Green Bay backfield is going to get a ton of work. A.J. Dillon on the ground, I trust more than I trust even Aaron Jones. But Aaron Jones' pass-catching ability is outstanding. Hopefully, I'm sorry if you guys if there's just bass going on in the background. This 2 studios down from us, they're messing with stuff. So if you can hear that, I apologize. Chris Olave, good pick. But I do need another running back. And bye weeks don't mean a lot, but they do mean something. So if you're looking at a few different guys, definitely look at the bye week. Tony Pollard, I want to like Tony Pollard. Every fantasy football fan, every football fan that isn't a casual wants to like Tony Pollard. But I'm going to tell you, you can't. You can't like Tony Pollard. There's no reason to believe other than, this is going to sound really dumb, but it's true. There's no reason to think that Pollard is going to be a good running back for the Cowboys unless you use logic, which obviously that makes zero sense. What I'm inferring is that the Cowboys don't use logic. They're going to just run Zeke into the ground until his feet fall off. And then and only then would they even consider, oh, wait, we have a backer running back. Oh, yeah, Tony Pollard. Oh, yeah, here, go in the game. They just absolutely refuse to use Tony Pollard, and it drives me crazy, but I'm not the coach. There's nothing I can do about it. I can't put him in the game for him. So I can only work with what I got, and I don't believe Tony Pollard is going to get a lot of work. Now, drafting him at the end of the 8th round, early in the 9th round, okay, maybe like, well, what if Zeke gets hurt? He's done that a lot. And then I would say, you know what, fair point. But if you think Tony Pollard is going to take over the backfield just on the merit of he has the talent to do so, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. Who do I want? Now here, I'm thinking James Cook. I'm thinking Trey Lance, potentially. Look, you get Trey Lance. Apparently, you can get him in the 9th round. If he's your starting quarterback, there's potential he could be a top 3 quarterback by the end of the season. You do not need to reach on a quarterback. But because I still feel comfortable, very comfortable with the quarterback depth, I'm going to go with James Cook. I can end up getting a Derek Carr. I could get Trevor Lawrence. I could get Tua. Like, you know, I'm not going to sit here and preach that I think Tua is going to be an MVP this season, but he has the offense around him to succeed. And I know I'm a Dolphins fan, but come on. Like, you have Tyreek Hill, you have Jalen Waddle, Gesicki, the running game that they do. They're going to spread things out a lot more. They're going to be a really high-paced offense that there's just going to be so many plays to be had. He's a decent option. Don't make him your starter, but don't scoff at him if you see him when he comes across the board. Like, oh, it's Tua. No, he can have a good year. Hopefully. I like Sky Moore, but this auto pick's probably going to take him. Nyheim Hines. I would recommend taking Nyheim Hines on the basis alone of, Jonathan Taylor is RB1. God forbid something happens to Jonathan Taylor, immediately hit up whoever has him. Whoever has the first overall pick, should either take him and then, if he just sprains his pinky toe, but hey, what you want from him? Immediately. That being said, I need another receiver, but that's a bit of a reach. So I'm going to take Derek Carr. Different bye week. Perfect. I like Derek Carr. I do. I do like Derek Carr. Like, he was great. He was great in a very meh offense. He's now been given Devontae Adams. He still has Darren Waller. He still has Renfro. Don't know why that took me so long. He still has those guys, and then he has the best receiver in football now. And that offense should look a lot better. It should look a lot different. So Derek Carr as your backup, and honestly, even as your starter, if you just go heavy everywhere else and say, you know what, I'm gonna get 20-something points a game, unless you're Donovan in your ridiculous league where quarterbacks somehow get 3,000 points. Then you can drive Derek Carr here, and you're like, yeah, he can finish a top 10 quarterback, and I can sleep feeling good about that. Team Combs, great pick. Just remember, Jonathan Taylor he missteps going down the stairs. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. Hit up the guy who has Jonathan Taylor. But hey, look, you want Nyheim Hines? You can give me like Aaron Jones. I'll give you Nyheim Hines. Just saying. I just took Derek Carr, so I don't need quarterback. I don't need running back. So let's look at these receivers. I don't feel incredibly great about anybody here, but Jahan Dotson, there's the potential there from a rookie. There's no clear-cut number 2. Curtis Samuel missed all of last season. We have no idea what he's going to look like. Offense does stink. If you're not named Deebo Samuel, if you're not named Terry McLaurin, the offense stinks. But somebody else is going to score points. Somebody else is going to get targets. And Jahan Dotson, I think, has a very good opportunity to be the number 2 in that offense. And, hopefully be serviceable, because he's my next in line after my wide receiver and my flexes for my wide receiver. But when you come to this position, like you see here in the mock, like everybody's on auto at this point. And you come to this part of the draft, if you have a guy who is your guy, take him. I don't care if you're reaching 30 spots for him. If you have talked yourself into, let's just blindly scroll. If you have talked yourself into Nick Westbrook, whatever that is, take him. Take him whenever you want to take him. If you have a guy who you think is your guy, take him. Worst case scenario, you cut him at the end of week 1, 2, 3, whatever your heart desires. I'm going to go backup tight end, and I like either one of these guys. Njoku's had a really good camp. Irv Smith, I don't know how he's been in camp, but it just makes a lot of sense that he'd have a good year with that Vikings offense. So welcome to the team, bud. Don't have anybody from either of those two offenses. I believe in the Minnesota offense a lot more than I believe in the Cleveland offense. So on that basis alone, Irv Smith is going to get the nod for me. But yeah, what I was saying before, maybe don't reach, like if you're in the second round, or let's say you're me and you have the third pick, or you're the fourth pick in the third round. Maybe don't reach on Zeke. Maybe don't reach on Mike Williams, because there is still very good options where you're at. Even though I really like these guys for this, and that reason, the guys who are there present, I also like for their own reasons, and I, draft them accordingly. But like I said, let's say you just scroll down and say, I do really like Isaiah Pacheco. He can take over the backfield from Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I might take him right now, just because I believe in him. Scroll down even more. Let's say I believe in Paris Campbell. Take him. If you're in the 13th round, take him. All these guys up top are big. ESPN doesn't know. Nobody knows. Like, when you get to this part of the draft, nobody knows. Nobody knows who's going to be good. This is just a whole bunch of crap. Now, the kickers and defenses, okay, yeah, there's something there. But nobody knows how these guys are going to do. So, with that information, I'm going to take Jamaal Williams. He's very vocal in the camp. He gets a lot of goal line work. If something happens to DeAndre Swift, I can see him taking over that backfield and getting a decent amount of work. But again, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter at this part of the draft. It is plucking at straws. Everybody's just guessing. Everybody does all their research on how's Keenan Allen going to do, how's Tyreek Hill going to do. Oh, Tyreek Hill is going to excel because of this, or he's not going to do so good because of this. Everybody does all this work on like the top 50 prospects. They don't do no work on this. How's Kenneth Gainwell going to do? I don't know. He could be the RB1. He could get cut. I don't know. They don't know. We don't know. If you want somebody, take them. I'm going to stop ranting now. I don't know why I got so passionate. We're all the way up here. I need another wide receiver. Julio's dropping, which makes zero sense to me. How is he dropping when he just got added to Tampa Bay? Make it make sense. He was like in the hundreds. Now he's in the 200s. Huh? What? How does that make sense? Whatever. I'll take him. Oh, look at that. He's my last bench spot. So, kicker defense. Personally, I think kicker and defense is kind of stupid, but some people like them, some people don't. I don't even know which one I'd prefer. I mean, you could every single year you get to week 6 and you look like, oh wait a minute, the number one kicker is on waivers. If I told you the number one quarterback was on waivers at week 6, you have to seriously take a look at your league mates. Like, what is wrong with you? Number one kicker on defense, okay. Fins up, go Dolphins. Most of the time when I do mocks, I just troll when it comes to these. Like, I'll just scroll all the way to the bottom. Like, Lareem Hajrulahu. Lareem Hajrulahu. We'll go with that. Like Jonathan Garby. That's my kicker. Matt Amendola. Sure. John Brown. That he is an NPC. That is not a real person. That is not a real person. Justin Worcestershire. Yeah, but seriously, looking back up. Suck up. Sure. Okay, so that's my team. So, now I did goof a little bit. Javonte Williams, Courtland Sutton. Obviously, I can't actually do that, but otherwise, I'm pretty happy. If I could, let's say instead of Javonte, I ended up with Aaron Jones. Let's just for sake of argument say it's Aaron Jones. Herbert, Henry, Javonte Williams / Aaron Jones, Keenan Allen, Courtland Sutton, Dalton Schultz, and Allen Robinson. Whew, that is tasty. That is tasty. I love it. The draft I did yesterday, I actually didn't end up liking my team. I like this team a lot better. Edmonds, Cook, Carr, Dotson, Irv Smith, not Javonte, Jamaal Williams. That was kind of confusing. Oh, man. Imagine you submit a trade and the person just sees Jay Williams like, oh, Javonte. Jamaal. And then Julio. A lot of J's. Justin Herbert, Javonte Williams, James Cook, Jahan Dawson, Jamaal Williams, Julio Jones. A lot of J's go around. Very content with this team. I'm probably gonna do some more of these as my own draft comes around. But thank you guys for watching. Please, what do you think of my draft? What do you think of this style of video? I finally downloaded OBS. I'm gonna have to do some playing. with the editing, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't even know where my face is right now. Is it here? Is it here? Is it here? I don't know. You guys know. I don't know. But thank you all very much for watching. If you'd like me to make more content like this, please let me know by hitting that like button. If you have not done so, please subscribe, please comment, please share. Thank you all for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.